Dear young women, let's talk about 8 beliefs that are ruining your relationships. Belief number 1. If he loves me, he should know what I need. Testing your relationship is never a good idea. It is a parent's responsibility to be attuned to the needs of their small child because small children do not yet have the ability to verbalize their needs. But as an adult, you do have the ability to verbalize your needs. No matter how much your partner loves you, he cannot read your mind. Not verbalizing your needs to your partner does 2 things. Number 1, it sets your partner up for failure. No one wants to be in a relationship where they're constantly being punished for getting things wrong. Yes, your partner should remember the needs you share with him so you don't have to keep reminding him, but you have to express a need to him at least once so he can get it right moving forward. Number 2, not telling your partner what your needs are is also a way of avoiding vulnerability. But remember, asking for something from your partner that you yourself are not willing to give can set up imbalanced power dynamics in your relationship. Imbalanced power can eat away at the love in a relationship. So, if you want your man to be vulnerable with you, you have to be willing to be vulnerable as well. Being vulnerable does not only refer to crying and sharing feelings. If you are comfortable crying and sharing your feelings on a particular topic, it's unlikely that you're being vulnerable. Vulnerability feels uncomfortable for us all. Example, a woman who cries a lot may believe she's being vulnerable, but if she's uncomfortable talking about her sexual needs, so she avoids talking about her sexual needs, that would still be a fear of vulnerability. We all have our own vulnerability thresholds. We might feel comfortable opening up about one topic, but uncomfortable about opening up about another topic. Belief number 2, I have to check his phone because I need to know what he's doing. Why are you in a relationship with someone you do not trust? If your partner has broken your trust many times before, again I ask, why are you in a relationship with someone who is not deserving of your trust? My husband and I have been married for 12 years, and I have not checked his phone, nor have I had the desire to check his phone a single time. I don't say this to pat myself on the back. I say this because there's a level of internal peace that I pray for all women to have, and that peace comes from the radical acceptance that we cannot ever have control over the behaviors or the actions of another person. As human beings, we struggle to control our own behavior. So how likely is it that we'll ever have control over the behaviors and the actions of another person? There are 2 reasons why I never checked my husband's phone both before and after we got married. Reason number 1, I chose to marry someone who is worthy of my trust. This is the part where many women will say things like, this girl is so stupid. Her man probably already cheated or will cheat in the future. Now, those women are not wrong. There is a possibility that my husband has cheated in the past or will cheat in the future. I do not say this because I believe he has cheated on me in the past or will ever cheat on me in the future. I say this because my husband is a human being, and sometimes human beings surprise us in both good and bad ways. So I choose to protect my peace by not being worried or anxious about something I cannot control. Marriage has its ups and downs because marriage is a human relationship, and all human relationships have ups and downs. Think about your relationships with your parents and your friends. Do those relationships not have ups and downs? It's likely that they do. But when the downs happen in a relationship that is rooted in true love, both partners recognize that that moment of conflict is not about a lack of love. Ladies, always remember, A bird on a branch doesn't worry about whether or not the branch will break because it trusts its wings. Meaning, enjoy your relationship and protect your peace by not stressing yourself out about what your man might do. Because if he chooses to break your trust in an irreversible way and it causes you to break up, yes, you'll be hurt, but that pain will be temporary and you will be okay. Belief number 3. If he's good in bed, he should just know what to do without me having to tell him. Whether he's been with 0 women, 1 woman, or 20 women, your partner will not just know what you like in bed without you telling him, because all women are different. Yes, there are some similarities in the things most women like in bed, but there are still many differences. So don't expect your man to know what you like without telling him. Let's circle back to our section about vulnerability. Vulnerability is not only about being comfortable with crying and sharing your feelings. If talking about what you like in bed makes you uncomfortable, so you resist talking about it with your partner, that is a lack of vulnerability. It still shows a fear of being vulnerable. Belief number 4, bigger is better.
I don't think you know how big 12 inches is. Do you see that? Just in scale, where is that going? Not in here, okay? The average gal is gonna get about that much. Maybe this, if they're a pro, but the rest of that, completely unmanageable. This is the biggest I've ever seen in real life, but this is fine. It's completely fine. This, fabulous. Almost too big. Definitely too big, fucking sick day, ER, and now I'm just skipping my next life. Anything after that is entirely unethical. I don't think we know what we're talking about.
Ladies, can we please stop perpetuating this myth that bigger is always better? We have this cruel habit of saying hurtful things to men and then calling them too sensitive. You know what that shows? A lack of empathy. If you are only able to put yourself in other women's shoes, and you struggle to put yourself in men's shoes, that is still a lack of empathy. That is no different than a man struggling to empathize with a woman's pain. Funny story, but please forgive me and don't judge a good sis too harshly. But a long time ago, before the Lord showed me the error in my ways, I used to work in the hair and makeup department for an adult movie production company. Can I say porn company? I mean, we're all adults here, right? Anyway, there was this one particular actor with a particularly large ego. Let's just call him Mr. Richard Long. Mr. Richard Long was a very cocky man, pun intended, who had an appendage of a size that should never be allowed in the vicinity of any woman. When the female actresses would see Mr. Long on set, they would turn and look at each other like, because there was nothing enjoyable about filming with Mr. Long. This is just a funny story to illustrate that bigger is not always better. What makes sex enjoyable for women is how she feels about a man, plus how well he knows and understands her sexual love language. That being said, there is such a thing as size compatibility, but that's a topic for a whole other video. Belief number 5. He has to have everything together before marriage. One of the most beautiful things about marriage is growing together. Marriage is about going from my vision to our vision. Do you really want to be married for life to someone who stopped growing after the wedding? It's important that we stop seeing marriage as an endpoint and begin to see marriage as a starting point. Now, this does not mean I'm saying marry a man who's in a phase of his life where he's a complete mess. What I'm saying is judge him based on his values, vision, and his goals, because there will always be changes in life as we evolve and grow into an even better version of ourselves than we were yesterday. Belief number 6. If he doesn't want me to move in with him, then he doesn't want to marry me. Research shows that couples who move in together before marriage tend to be less satisfied with their marriage and are more likely to divorce than couples who do not move in together before marriage. Your man not wanting you to move in with him before marriage might just be because of one of his values. This is why open, honest, and vulnerable communication is a must in relationships. Don't assume that him saying no to moving in together before marriage is because he does not think you're the one. Belief number 7. I am an independent woman and I make my own money, so I don't need a man. It is true that you don't need a man, but it is also true that a man does not need a wife either. Stop letting old, bitter women convince you marriage isn't worth it. I was raised by a single mom, so trust when I say I understand where you're coming from when you don't see the value in marriage for women. Sometimes when my husband does something for me or helps me with something, he'll say, perk number 5001 of being married. And yes, it annoys the hell out of me, but nevertheless, he's right. There are many perks to being married, most of which are small things that happen throughout the day but add up to improve the quality of your life. Example, sometimes my husband will notice when I'm stressed out even before I do. This is because my coping mechanism for stress is to have more fun. So I become a little bit sillier, I laugh a lot more, and I play a lot of games on my phone, etc. But because I'm having fun, I don't realize my stress response has been activated. But my husband will pick up on it and say, hey babe, what's bothering you? What's on your mind? And this helps me to stop whatever I'm doing and go and check in with my body and my thoughts. Once I do this, I recognize what's stressing me out and I'm able to resolve it. Belief number 8. Relationships should be 50-50. This line of thinking is flawed because one of the fastest ways to destroy a marriage is to keep score. So let's recap the 8 beliefs that are ruining your relationships and destroying your happiness. If he loves me, he should know what I need. Thinking we can read minds or thinking other people should read our minds is unhealthy. I check his phone because I need to know what he's doing. Why are you in a relationship with someone who is not deserving of your trust? If he's good in bed, he should just know what to do without me having to tell him. Bigger is always better. Nope. He has to have everything together before marriage. One of the most beautiful things about marriage is growing together, about going from my vision to our vision. If he doesn't want me to move in with him, then he doesn't want to marry me. But research shows that moving in together before marriage actually increases your chances of divorce. I am an independent woman and I make my own money, so I don't need a man. You're right. You don't need a man, nor does a man need a wife, but having a partner to share your life with is a beautiful thing. Relationships should be 50-50. One of the fastest ways to destroy a marriage is to keep score. So, ladies, if you hold any of these beliefs, reflect and think on them, and then ask yourself, are these beliefs helping me or harming my ability to have the relationship that I desire? Thank you for watching. I am grateful for you. My name is Melissa Rochelle, and I'm a holistic wellness and relationship coach. Please remember to like, subscribe, and most importantly of all, share this information with everyone you know so that we can do everything we can to break the generational cycles of broken homes, burnt out single moms, and fatherless children. Thank you.